Hello viewers, in today's video we will check out a very special baking recipe. It is nothing but the carrot dates cake that we are going to bake today. So we will get into the ingredients one by one. I am really excited to share with you this very special recipe. I hope it helps. So for carrot dates cake, it comes into a similar category as plum cake. So we will need many sweet spices and all that. So let's see. First we will need rolled cinnamon. It's good for this recipe and we would prefer rolled cinnamon for baking. So we will grind some of it and have it ready. Next we would need nutmeg, also called as jadika. So this we do not have powder handy, so we will just grate it on a grater. You would get powder out of it. So we are going to use this nutmeg powder also in the later stage. And then we would need dry ginger. If you have got dry ginger powder at home, good enough. But since we are using ingredients on the counter at hand, so I'm using dry ginger and I'm going to grate these into small bits. Now these aromatic spices enhances the flavor of the cake and it gives a very beautiful flavor and also aroma to our dish. Now we would need 3/4 cup of sugar. Make sure you're using measuring cups and spoons for this recipe because baking involves all of these. So it's 3/4 cup of sugar. If you want to replace this sugar, you definitely can. You can use brown sugar instead of the same measurement, or you can, if you want it more sweet, you can use it 1 cup of brown sugar as well. Now for the next part, you will have to add 3 cloves to this sugar and make it into powder. So you will have the cloves and sugar powder with you. Next we will have to get the caramel syrup ready for this recipe. If you would want to ignore this part, you definitely can. If you're using brown sugar, you do not need that much of browning for your cake, so you can skip the caramel syrup if you're using brown sugar. So for this you will need another 1/2 cup of sugar plus 1 tablespoon of water. Heat it up on low flame and keep stirring it continuously. Once it starts to boil and bubbles starts to form, you will have to increase the flame to medium and keep stirring it. You would get a dark brown liquid. It's nothing but the caramel syrup getting ready. So this will add some more texture to your cake and it will add some more bitterness to the cake. So after you get it off from the stove, you need to add 1/4 cup of water. Care should be taken while you pour this 1/4 cup of water into this caramel syrup, as it might emit some fumes. So add it and stir it and keep it aside ready, so we will use it while mixing. Next we would need 3/4 cup of chopped dates, de-seeded, and 1/4 cup of chopped cashew nuts. So these two are important in our recipe. It's going to add some value to this cake. It's going to be more nutritious as well. So after adding these two, we need to coat these with some flour. Okay, we are using atta here, wheat, so it's going to be wheat carrot dates cake. So sprinkle 1 tablespoon of wheat flour and just mix the ingredients so that it becomes lighter when you add it to the batter. We don't want our dates or cashews to sink down the batter. So to add some buoyancy, we're adding this flour and mixing it up and keeping it aside. Up next, our star ingredient, carrots. So we're going to take 1 full cup of grated carrot. Here 2 carrots made a full cup of carrot for me. So according to the size, you can measure it after grating. Squeeze out the excess water and keep it aside. Now we will transfer the ingredients one by one into our mixing bowl. First, we would add the ground sugar with cloves, so that goes in first. Along with that, you will have to add 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. If you would prefer a much healthier version, you can switch to olive oil. After adding this, you will have to add 2 eggs with the yolk. If you would prefer a vegan version of this, you can definitely replace it with flaxseed powder. So for 1 egg, you will have to combine 1 tablespoon of flaxseed powder with 3 tablespoons of water and allow it to sit for at least 5 minutes. So since we are taking 2 eggs here, you can replace it with 2 tablespoons of flaxseed with 6 tablespoons of water, and then you can use it same as how we use egg for this recipe. So after adding egg, you will have to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt and give it a good mix. I'm using wheat flour today, so we can take 1 cup of wheat flour. You will have to sieve it because we need our cake nice and light, so that's the purpose of sieving the flour. So after you add the flour, you can add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg powder, 1/8 teaspoon of ginger powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Sieve it so that the flour comes into the bowl, all the ingredients, and start mixing it. Mix it well with a mixing spatula so that all the ingredients combine well and you form a slight ribbon-like structure when you just pour it. And then you will add the prepared caramel syrup. You will add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence and again mix it nicely. After combining, you will have a smooth batter like this. And then you will add the 3/4 cup chopped dates along with the 1/4 cup chopped cashews. So that one, you're going to add it into this mixture and mix it well. Along with this, you can add 1 cup of the grated carrot. Again, start mixing all the ingredients until it combines well. So once you're starting to mix, on the other side you can get the pan ready. So we're going to use a loaf pan today. Grease the pan and dust some wheat flour so that you will have a sturdy base so that the cake wouldn't stick. If you have a parchment paper, it's good and well enough, so you can use the same. Wow, look at this. Our carrot dates cake batter is almost ready. The cake is 90% set and ready. So now all you have to do is pour this wonderful yummy aromatic batter into our greased baking pan and make sure to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius before placing this into the oven. So after you preheat, this batter goes straight into the oven and the baking time would be 35 to 45 minutes depending on your oven. Always have a check after 35 minutes if the cake is fully baked. and after 45 minutes you can remove it out of the oven, allow it to cool, and then demold it, and it is ready to be cherished. Everyone is going to love this recipe. It's going to have a wonderful texture, aroma, and of course, nothing can beat the taste of this sweet spices filled carrot dates cake. Enjoy!